Welcome, everybody, to the College Football Playoff Preview Show. Today, we're going to look at the Boise State Broncos as they battle the heavily favored Penn State Nittany Lions. I'm your host, Mike Goodpaster. Today, we're going to look at whether the Broncos can pull off a monumental upset against Penn State or whether Penn State will go ahead and move on to the Final Four. If you want to bet these games, the top sports book to bet them is BetMGM. Click on the link in the description down below if you're watching on YouTube. All right, guys, Penn State is a 10.5-point favorite, which is a bigger favorite than they were at home against SMU last week. But I think Boise State is a better team than SMU because all the talk about Indiana not belonging in the NCAA tournament here, SMU did not belong in this college football tournament. Today, we're going to get Boise State, who somehow, the way this works, is a group of five team that ends up with like a 3 or a 4 seed and a bye in the first round. Not sure how that works out. The NCAA really needs to fix that on top of the transfer portal, which needs a little bit of fixing too in the NIL. But Boise State, as I said, is a group of five representative. Nobody gives them much of a chance here. The Nittany Lions looked a part of a national championship contender against SMU in its home game in the first round. They used 2 pick sixes to get past the Mustangs. And this is a team in Penn State that likes to basically run the ball, play defense, slow the game down. Boise State does too, which makes this interesting. The key players here, I think, no doubt who the key player is. Drew Allar, the quarterback for Penn State. He continues to play clean football. The Penn State offense revolves around its running game. But this Nittany Lion quarterback continues to showcase sound decision-making and mobility in the pocket. On the season, Aller has passed for over 3,000 yards with 3-1 touchdown interceptions. He will face a Boise State defensive line that is second in the country in sacks this season. Boise State, of course, is led by Ashtonjeanty. The Heisman Trophy runner-up will face the stiffest test of the season against an elite Penn State run defense. Jeanty has been rarely denied this season, putting up top 5 running back season ever with 2,497 yards, 29 touchdowns for the Broncos. Now, when we look at this game, the Boise State offense is going to be up against it, facing the Penn State defensive line that ranks top 10 in major run-stopping categories, including defensive line yards, EPA rush, and yards per carry. The Broncos' offense revolves around Jeanty, who averages 26 carries, 192 yards per game. However, the team's ability to lead on Jeanty has masked a limited passing game. Now, Maddox Madsen has put together an impressive stat line this season, but digging under the hood shows that he has benefited from playing along Jeanty and in favorable situations. While he has 22 touchdown passes to only 3 interceptions, Madsen has made only 9 big-time throws to 16 turnover-worthy plays. Given that the Penn State defensive line should be able to keep a lid on Jeanty at least a little bit more than other teams, there may be more on Madsen's plate in this game. And Madsen has struggled under pressure this season. Under pressure, he has made 1 big-time throw to 8 turnover-worthy throws per Football Focus. Now, can Penn State pounce on this Boise State defense? The Broncos' defense has been boom or bust all season. The team ranks second in the country in sacks, but the group has been vulnerable to big plays outside the top 90 in explosive play rate. Most importantly, the group has struggled against the pass, ranking outside of the top half of the country in EPA per pass. Now, Penn State is centered around its dual threat run game between Nicholas Singleton and Katron Allen. Now, I believe that this game should set up nicely for Allar to have a big game through the air. The Nittany Lions are a top 10 in EPA pass and sacks allowed, so the group should be well equipped to handle Boise State's defensive line and set up opportunities down the field for Allar and company. However, Penn State has proven confident in its defense and content to limit its opponents and lean on a ground game, especially in a favorable game slate. Now, Boise State ranks 95th in seconds per play. Penn State is 105th, so I don't think there's going to be anything but limited snaps in this game. Further, given a tough matchup for the Boise State offense, I believe we are primed for a defensive-minded Penn State victory here. I think Penn will ground this game out. I think when we get to it at the end of this game, I think it's a game that Jeanty would have to run for over 200 yards for Boise State to pull off the upset, and Madsen would still have to have success through the air. I think the Penn State defense will be way too much for the Boise State offense. Now, Boise State did play Oregon tough this year, losing by a point at the start of the season. So we have that. I mean, Boise State is a team that belongs in a 12-team playoff. I just think the matchup against Penn State is going to be a little bit too much. I think the athleticism up front, the strength, the power of Penn State will win this game. I think Penn State wins this game 31-20. So I think they covered at 10.5 points. I think it's a borderline cover. I do see a world where Penn State could blow this game out early, especially if they get up a couple of touchdowns early. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to take Penn State. I'm going to go to BetMGM, and I'm going to give to 10.5 points. And remember, if you want to do the same, click on the link in the description down below for BetMGM in YouTube. All right, guys, you can follow me on X at Grilling Truth. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell notification on YouTube. Go find thegruelingtruth.com. But for now, guys, I'm Mike Goodpaster. You've been watching and listening to The Grueling Truth, where the legends speak.